G'day guys, it's good to see you again. This is I Read Reddit, and today I'm going to be reading some Entitled Parent stories. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I upload here daily, and if you've got the fear of missing out, then you better smash that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. Now pull up a chair and get comfy, you're going to love this one. A bit of context. My mum and sister live halfway across the country. In the Netherlands, that's about a 90-minute drive. Me and my girlfriend live in an apartment away from them. We already had a troubled past with her. The mum had to have her house cleaned because there was mold everywhere. So she decided that, without consulting me or my girlfriend, that she could go to my apartment and stay there for a week. When I came home from work, I saw her sitting on the couch with my sister playing on her phone. The following conversation ensued. What are you doing here without any of us? We gave you a key just for emergencies. Ah, yes. There is an emergency. My house is being cleaned and I don't want to have to stay at a hotel. So you drove for 90 minutes just to stay here. What about your job and my sister's school? It isn't a break right now. 'Cause I have to work. I'm a teacher. Well, we just have to go really early in the morning to be in time. Let me discuss this with my girlfriend because this is our house. I called my girlfriend and explained. She said it's fine, but I had to make a few rules for them. So the rules were not to go into our bedroom or study room and to stay out of the liquor cabinet. They each slept on the couch and they could eat with us for dinner. It went well for 2 days, and they went to work and school really early and came back late, and didn't go where they didn't belong. Until day 3 out of 5, where I got about 20 calls from my sister or so in my break. I called to see what happened. This was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, Mum said you're gonna pick me up at 1:30 p.m. Where are you? I won't do any such thing. I have to work until 5. So, what am I supposed to do? I hung up on her. Later that night, my mother and my sister came home. Why didn't you pick up your sister? Because I had to work until 5, just like every other day. Then why didn't you say that you had family over? Because you sprang this whole visit upon me? My mum shouts and tells me to pay for train tickets, then runs into my study, breaking the lock in the progress. You have 5 minutes to get your crap and leave my house, or I will call the cops. She left, but later I got a call from her saying that I had to pay for her hotel and for her dinner. I blocked her on every single social media. So this story was told to me by my brother when I was at home visiting. It happened in 2015, at the peak of the gluten-free craze. To clarify, B, brother, K, kid, EP, entitled parent, and me, yours truly. TLDR at the bottom of the post. At this point in time, my brother was pretty heavily involved in scouting and was serving as senior patrol leader of his troop. Essentially, he was the kid in charge of all the planning and organization. I'd been a scout in the same troop, and during that time, the adult leaders were a group of older Navy veterans. Between the time I'd finished with the scouting and my brother started getting involved, the older adult leaders had been pushed out and replaced with a group of upper middle class parents. Now, once people reach a certain level of comfort in their lives, there can be a tendency to see shadows on the wall and make them out to be phantom problems. This was certainly the case with these parents. The camping ventures became severely limited. None of them wanted to camp outside of walking distance of warm showers. The troop was essentially relegated to backyard camping, unless one of the parents decided to shake it up and live on the wild side for a weekend. This, among other problems, had taken a lot of fun out of the scouting. Now, while I was in the living room of my parents' house, I heard my brother close the door hard and walk pretty quickly into his room. He's a quiet guy, and it was pretty easy to see that something like this had upset him. I say, hey B, what's going on? Had a camping planning meeting with one of the parents, didn't go well. Do you want to talk about it? My brother began explaining what happened. The troop had taken on a bunch of new, younger boys that year. The parents had insisted on becoming more involved in the troop leadership. One parent was especially problematic. They had a son who apparently fell on the autism spectrum. The kicker? He had never had a formal autism diagnosis. His parents self-diagnosed him based on his behavior. The entitled parent and her son on the gluten-free, casein-free diet, she believed that so long as her son was on that diet, his autism wouldn't manifest. Spoiler alert, the diet is junk science. There really isn't any study to support the gluten-free, casein-free diet. Now, my brother and I are not monsters. Though there were no formal diagnosis, we aren't the kind of people to argue, and what you want to eat is your business. Problem was, the parent was being really pushy about her kid's diet. B, as you know, my kid is on a special diet for his autism, and I just wanted to run through the camp out menu with you. Yeah, no problem, parent. We've worked with the scouts that have dietary restrictions, including vegetarian and kosher. Normally, we ask that they pack their own supply of food separate from the main menu, because the other scouts might not be familiar with their dietary needs. I can help Kay carry and prepare the food you pack. We usually also cook one meal together for everyone following the restrictions, so that the other boys can understand different dietary needs better. I'd be happy to work on that menu item with you. Okay, that's not acceptable. I don't want my kid to feel left out. You need to provide a gluten-free, casein-free menu for everyone. That means no wheat products, no dairy products, and I don't want any of the other boys bringing snacks that'll make my son feel left out either. So when you're doing the shopping, keep that in mind. Anyone who's been on a camping trip can see the difficulty here. No sandwiches, no pasta, no tortillas, no cereal bars, no oatmeal, no milk and coffee. It goes on and on. It's doable with substitutes, of course, but to people who aren't used to them, they can be really off-putting, and that's one of the last things you need on a campout, as eating enough calories is really important. Throw that into the mix with a bunch of teenage boys, and it's a recipe for disaster. Anyone who has worked with kids can see why this is problematic and would lead to bullying. Parent, most of the other boys aren't used to following a special diet, and they're probably not going to be happy if they can't make things like breakfast burritos and s'mores, and they're going to blame that on your kid. Like I said, I'm happy to help your kid, but we can't design a menu with only him in mind. Well, they better learn to be more tolerant. I'm telling you what will happen on this trip, and this is final. Parent, this is really... Don't argue with me. Either you accommodate my kid, or the camping trip is not happening. This conversation is over. So, long story short, the campout ended up happening. My brother and the other scouts planned a gluten-free spaghetti bolognese dinner, and they told the parent that the kid was welcome, but under no circumstances would they provide a special menu, and the kid would need to pack his own meals. Of course, this sent the parent into orbit, but there wasn't much that could be argued with at that point. I wish this story had a more satisfying ending, but the kid continued with the troop, and in all honesty, a really good thing, because the kid wasn't all that bad a kid. And the parent continued to harass my brother about minutiae. A couple years back, I was grilling up some Korean barbecue short ribs at a family party. There were about 30 to 50 of my relatives there, and some people that were just friends with some of the parents. As I was grilling, this entitled mum comes up to me. Give me a piece of barbecue for my son. It'll be a couple of minutes, they're not done yet. I need it now. Just give me the one that looks like it's done. She points to a piece of seared meat that's raw in the middle. It's not cooked yet, just wait a little bit, yeah? I'm an adult, you have to listen to me. Alright. I just give her what she wants because I'd rather not argue, and a couple minutes later, she comes back to me, angry. This piece is raw! Why did you give it to me? You have no idea how to cook. Ma'am, you demanded I give you a piece when I told you twice that it wasn't cooked yet, and you told me I had to do whatever you said because you're an adult. She doesn't say anything and just leaves. Later I found out she went to my mum and tried to tell me I couldn't cook, and tried to give her raw meat. Luckily my mum was the one who taught me to cook, so she knew the mother was making crap up. I'm just gonna start this by saying, I don't not like my boyfriend's mum. She's a nice lady, but can be entitled and likes having things done her way. While it makes things annoying and sometimes hard to deal with, she does do help out, and it doesn't make her a bad person. This is going to be short and sweet since there isn't much to this story. A little background. My boyfriend is 18, turning 19 within the next few months. He goes to college and also works part-time, so it's very rare for him to have a full day off or even an afternoon off. We both want to go out and exercise more and spend more quality time, one-on-one with each other. So, perfect idea is to do some light hiking. We've planned to do a small one today after I go out of work. Well, his mum ended up calling him and told him, not asked, that she told one of her friends that my boyfriend can take him to work. Didn't run it through with my boyfriend or anything, just told her friend that he would do it. He told her that he already made plans to go out with me and then later work on his car while they're still light out. She got really huffy and started to use guilt tricks on him. So he said okay, he'll take her friend to work. However, there's more. Since he had to go use her car, his also has to wait for his siblings to get out of their after school clubs. So by the time he gets back, he will have only an hour of daylight. That is if they don't pull off to do other things. So now my boyfriend and mine date is ruined, and my boyfriend's plans to fix his car is ruined as well. And since I work 2 jobs and he has college and a job, who knows when we'll be able to take up time for ourselves again. Hey guys, I read Reddit here. For more juicy content just like that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!